Hello, welcome to the Mustang Room. I'm Kurt,
And I'm Joni.
and we're it. We're the Mustang Room. Let me set up first of all what the Mustang Room, how that came about. As we were planning our move to this home, I went back with my skills years and years ago as a tool and die maker, and I got up a little miniature drafting pad, and I laid out a scale a floor plan for this home. And I got to the area where the garage is, and I wrote in the garage, and I looked at it, took my eraser, and I erased that. And I thought, this isn't going to be a garage. This is going to be the Mustang Room. And so I wrote it back in Mustang Room. Joni, sometime later,
I called it a garage and I quickly was corrected. We do not have a garage here. We have a Mustang room.
and I brought it. I brought the paperwork to her so she could see that it was official. It was part of the floor plan. So it's the Mustang Room. We thought this would be a fun place to set up our studio. We are limited on room here, and not that we're in a small home. We're not. It's very adequate for us. But we thought it would be fun to let the Mustang Room double as a studio for us to share our lives with all of you. I want to thank all of you sincerely, friends from all over, truly all over the U.S. that have already subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. If you've not done that, please do so. If you're not a subscriber, please do that, and we can explain later as to why that might be important to us at some future date. But click the little subscribe button. We'll appreciate it. We're going to do a lot of things here. We're going to share our lives with you in just a moment or two. We're going to talk about retirement, what it was to get here, and what our last 2 months have been like since the middle of June, when we retired full-time from 35 years of full-time pastoral ministry. We're going to share a little bit about retirement, and then I've got some thoughts that I really believe the Lord has impressed upon my heart to share with all of you in my times of morning study out on the lanai, and just that inspiration that I feel sometimes in the Word of God to share the things I find. I'll do that in just a moment as well. But let's get started by talking about retirement. After 35 years, we realized it was time for us to finish full-time pastoral ministry, and we did just that. We did it with a great deal of peace in our heart. Joni, talk about that peace that passes understanding.
We had great peace from the Lord, and everything just so easily fell into place, from purchasing this home to selling our home in Michigan. The Lord just worked everything out so as easily as a move could be. That's how it was.
And because we purchased this home a year and a half ago, at that point not knowing when retirement would happen, we basically had two homes, one in Michigan, one here in Florida, and so it gave us time to really begin to furnish and make this house our home, even though at the time it was a second home. We were able to do some upgrades, some things, paint and such that we wanted to get done. That was done before the house was completely filled with furnishings, made it all so much easier. But it's one thing to prepare a house and to let that house become a home. It's quite another when an activity that has kept a person busy full time every day, just tremendously busy. We knew we were busy. I don't think either one of us realized how busy. Thought we did, but we didn't realize how busy until somebody just opened that up and just it all drains away. And now we have none of those responsibilities. And I will tell you, it's the first couple of weeks we were tired from the move, but the first few weeks was really a honeymoon period. We were having a lot of fun in that first month, and it was just we were keeping busy, and I think we both agree. I don't know how we ever had a job. I don't know how we did that.
Unpacking boxes can keep you busy forever.
And all of the rest of getting plugged into a new community and all of the activities that are here at the villages, which we haven't even really begun to explore yet. But we've been very busy. But we suddenly realized that we're not busy. And I'd like to take just a few minutes, just 2 or 3 minutes, to share with you about how that feels. Joni, I'm going to let you go first. I think it hit her a little differently than it did me.
When you're not constantly looking at a day runner or your calendar on your phone to see, what appointment's next and who's coming next and what piano lesson is next and what parents coming in for a conference next. When you eliminate all that from your schedule, it's suddenly very, very, very different. You don't realize how much you really enjoyed what you were doing, even though you were completely exhausted. I found it surprising how much I miss those little kids at school. They were just a joy to our life, and I miss the hugs and the smiling faces. And it just gave me maybe a little too much time to sit back and think. And I got to sit back and think about, oh, I've missed things in my grandchildren's lives that now I can do, and I'm excited that now I can do. But it just gives you that sort of urgency that I got to get busy and do that. There has to be something to fill that void in my life where I was busy 12 to 14, 16 hours every single day.
Yeah, and I think there's one other idea to that for me. Obviously, retirement is a different season of life, and this is awkward. This is hard to share, but you really are hit with a sense of urgency. Time is limited, and I've always known that, but I know it differently now. Every day is a gift, more than I ever understood it before. It's an absolute gift. Things change in a hurry now, and
it makes you want to spend as much time as you possibly can with your family and your close friends. You want to be with them. We love having company.
Yeah, and for those that have been down here to visit, I don't think that you'll really understand completely just how critically important that is for us, because we realize, and I don't mean this to be morbid, it's not, I'm a Christian, I'm not afraid of dying, I'm not, but I'm prepared, but I'm not ready, and I've got days left that I want to spend, but now I want to spend them maybe a bit more wisely, and to make sure to make the gift of every day count more completely. And so the friendships,
your priorities to change.
The priorities change, and the friendships and the relationships are what matter,
yes,
above all else, more than ever before. And that's not to say we didn't love people and love our family and care. We did. But this has put a whole different urgency on day by day. And we want to make it count. And that doesn't mean, in making it count, that we've got to be busy, because there's going to be a lot of days, last few days, we've really relaxed and we've just been together. We've spent time at the pool. We've made friends. And so it's been a much less hurried schedule, but a schedule still exists. And this unhurried schedule matters more now than it did when we were just nonstop movement from get up of a morning and jump out of bed and hit it running and collapse at night. Hours, days matter to us now. And so thank you for letting us share even these moments with all of you. With that thought in mind, Joni, anything else you want to add to that?
No, not right now. We'll do that in the future weeks.
All right. And we will have future opportunities to share with you. I want to share just real quickly a scripture that has been really important to me in these weeks. In Paul's first letter to the church in Corinth, 1 Corinthians, in the first 3 chapters, he's dealing with this idea of the supremacy of God's wisdom and power, and that it is not in the power of man, it's not in the power of ministry, it's not in the power of particular organizations or connections that we make, apart from God. It is the importance that God is his ways are so far above ours, and I get that. This is not new material to me, but in chapter 4, the first verse, just one quick little thing, and we'll make 2 points, and then I'll be done. I promise. This is how one should regard us. He says, with all of these things that he's just shared, he then speaks to his audience and he says, "This is how I want all of you to consider me." And I'd like for you to consider Joni and I this way. Regard us, number one, as servants of Christ. We have a primary job right now of trying to find a new church home for us. It's been an interesting process. We've got it really close. We're down to a couple of different possibilities, and as you can well imagine, there's no perfect church or congregation. They each have their pluses. They each have the things that you put in that minus column, and I don't mean that to be harsh. But if you're not careful, for us, it becomes a what do we like and what do we want? And Joni will say, well, how do you like that music? And well, how did you like this? And we begin to divide up the church ministry into its components, and then it's, do we like this or do we like that? And it becomes that kind of a conversation. And we realize that we could do that forever. We're not going to do that, and we're not going to find anything that is perfect, and that one doesn't exist any place. And we're smart enough to know that. But what we're understanding is our new church home has to be a place where we can be servants of Christ, where truly that's what matters above our likes and dislikes. How can we, again, plug back in and be a servant? Not like we have been in the past. We're not doing that. We know we shouldn't do that. But how and where will we best find that opportunity for us to be servants of Christ? And number 2, and this is the one that I want to talk about in more detail later, he says, and secondly, as stewards of the mysteries. How do I want everybody to regard us at this moment in our life? Number 1 is servants, and we recognize we need to be that. But secondly, stewards of the mysteries of God. The longer I live, and now more than ever before, I am fascinated, and I accept and crave the mysteriousness of God. We're not going to figure it all out. If we could, then we'd be gods. God, the Bible talks about his ways. Isaiah 55, his ways are greater than our ways, and his thoughts greater than our thoughts. And there's a lot mysterious about God that's going to remain a mystery until we see him face to face, until we breathe our last of this air and inhale that air of heaven for the first time. There's a lot of mystery, and we need to embrace that mystery. For us, we need to, as much as we're trying to make sense of this moment in our life, we need to be willing to embrace the mystery that God has us here for a reason, to be a servant, and it's not going to be perfectly clear, and we're going to have to trust him, even though there's a mysteriousness and an unknown quality that we need to fully embrace. Does that make sense, Joni?
It does.
And so that's our struggle right now. That's what we're trying to do, and I would encourage you to do the same. God bless you, folks. This has been a fun first moment for this. Again, we're gonna do it again and again until somebody tells us to stop, and we're gonna hope to be a blessing in your life. For our friends here in Florida, God bless you. You're seeing a piece of us now that is really a vital part of our lives that you don't see at the pool necessarily, and that's probably a good thing. But we've invited you into this space and this part of our life and into the Mustang Room for these moments just like this. Please subscribe, ask your questions, leave your questions on Facebook. Go there, look for the group, search for the group, the Mustang Room, get checked in there, and then leave your questions.
Please.
And we're going to cherish those moments to try to answer if we can. Not that we've got every answer, because we don't. Some of it I'm just going to look at you and say it's a mystery. But we're going to enjoy that. I hope it'll be a blessing to you. God bless you, and you guys have a great, great week. We'll see you again soon.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.